double up, make my money double up, I double up, make my money double up.
Welcome and good morning, and thank you for gracing us with your presence. Basically, what we're going to do this education and empowerment session, we're going to cover 3 aspects, particularly wealth creation. Secondly, we will work on wealth consumption, the manner in which we basically use our monies. And then, of course, we will discuss wealth conservation.
Now, Asisa is the Association for Savings and Investments in South Africa. And they're a membership or an industry organization, and their strategy is to align to the National Development Plan in terms of looking at what are the critical needs of the country, and the foundation was founded in response to that. It was to enable the industry to provide financial education. In 2011, National Treasury did a national baseline survey of the extent of the financial literacy in South Africa. The outcome of that survey highlighted that there are significant needs with regard to financial literacy.
We decided to incorporate a life stage approach within the Hammanskraal project so that we can try and address the audiences with instances that are specific to their various life stages.
What do you guys think that people in Karabo's life cycle or life stage would spend their monies on? Okay.
Firstly, we've got clothing, because obviously we know they like clothes, you know, they have to go to school, they need to go to work, so they need to look presentable and look good.
This is the first project that we have done for financial literacy under the Asisa banner. It was very important for us that we get it right, that we learn from any mistakes, any challenges that we've had, and therefore we felt it would be better to do a pilot project so that we can take something small, have it rolled out with various methodologies, life stage approach, all those good things, and then learn from that before we in actual fact take it further. Waya Hammanskraal, it's an area that's fairly close to Johannesburg, so it allowed us easy access. It's also an area that's undergoing urbanization. There's a large peri-urban area and also sort of an urban area and a rural community. The area also represents various economic activities and life stages and income groups within the community.
Saver, Waya. Tshwanetse o thome o itse go create, go aga tšhelete. Tshwanetse sephiri sa bobedi. Tshwanetse o kgone go etsang go boloka.
The key elements in producing a project of this nature, I would say mainly it's having the right content, appropriate content, and skilled facilitators who are going to interact with the community and interact with participants in order to bring this content to life. And then the other thing is also to understand that you need to have multi-touch points because you cannot find everybody in one sitting.
Ke tla go fa botlhale. Wa itse senyakwa o se bona ka eng? O se bona ka gore o ka nne wa phela ntleng ga sona. Like re yaanong.
For our program, we've chosen to use multimedia forums or various methodologies to be able to communicate the financial education messages that we need to do. So, for example, a key tool that we've used has been face-to-face workshops. We believe that's really critical in terms of having real engagement with people and interacting with them to ensure that they understand the concepts that we're trying to convey or the key learnings from the program.
Hey, utshwala, amapia. Ke want, ngampela. Ke want, ke needs.
What I liked about the methodologies, the communities have the opportunity to actually engage with the dialogues, with what they are trying to teach them. They can articulate, they can say something, they can involve themselves in the debate. And the fact that we're using the language, the people's language, it's an attempt to really not to undermine the people that we're trying to bring information to.
But the one I was in this little one, but there is saving. By one Yeah, let's go.
Okay, go.
That is good, my daughter. Karabo, the golden rule.
We had the radio drama programs, and that we started just a little bit before the workshops. That was really to make people aware of the campaign that was about to be rolled out. And it started introducing the story about the Parler family and some of the financial challenges that that family faces.
People like to listen to stories, and the fact that it was put in a narrative of a story, I found that it was very capturing, and it reduced a certain burden of information that is coming in a form of a lecture.
The other methodology that we use besides the radio drama has been industrial theatre.
Hey, Brastix! What ring Brastix? Brastix, Batashiva Brastix. Brastix, to what Brastix, I'm calling to stay in Brastix, who save a chele, the Brastix. Brastix, what Retawa, it homile kana. Where did it start, Brastix?
We really felt that the edutainment concept was something that might work very well with the community, the community and the target audience that we have. And so there we've taken artists from the local community, and we've linked into the same radio drama script about the Parler family, but they've just brought this to life. So they've come to some of the workshops and been able to deal with certain specific issues.
As a company, I'm for distance cousin. So register.
If I could have a theatre in every one of my sessions, I would love it, because it also, it's what they can relate to. And of course it makes it a little easier for me as the trainer as well. But it's also a reference, for me as I'm talking, and I go back and say, remember this is what Karabo said, remember this is what Brastix did. So yeah, it makes it a lot more easier for me, particularly as a trainer.
Well, I learned about saving, and just planning. I like the examples that they gave, the little drama as well, made it a bit more, for us to relate.
I like the drama more because people were also participating, and this is what happens in the township. People use it like Brastix in the drama. That is how people use their money, and they think that it's how it's supposed to be, but it will also awaken these men and women to also save money.
Tomorrow, maybe nka thusa batho ba bantši go save tšhelete and le nna ka tisavela tšhelete.
We've also had an SMS program. There were two purposes for that. The one was to determine if people were actually listening to the radio drama and actually if they were understanding the point. And then we've also used the SMSs to send out further messages post the workshops to the workshop participants.
I have my children who will support me. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I have savings put aside for my retirement.
So the Asisa Foundation selected us as Genesis to be the service provider for monitoring and evaluation for its Save a Waya pilot program in Hammanskraal.
Monitoring and evaluation is made up of two key components. The first being monitoring, which is your day-to-day collection of results that will be used in evaluations. Now, the evaluation component is when you take those results and you assess them to inform how a project could be improved while it's running, or improve future programs in the future by replicating the best practice that you identified in that evaluation.
There are a number of different reasons why it's important to monitor programs like this, especially independently. The first of those is that the financial sector codes require an independent monitoring and evaluation component for consumer financial education programs. But it goes much more beyond that. So independent monitoring and evaluation allows for an objective assessment of whether the program's meeting its objectives, what's working and what isn't.
Yes!
The great thing about this program has been that there was nothing that was wrong. Nothing went wrong. Everything was really just a learning opportunity. now, as we give feedback on what we've learned from the pilot, the members who are running their own programs can learn from that. And then we now have this strong platform to be able to roll out further programs in other areas that we're quite keen to do so. But we have this as a solid basis for refining, for tightening, and for being more effective.